Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present a spectacular festival of theme park audio commentary magic, the We Like Theme Parks podcast.
Yo. Bring it back now.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Welcome, my fellow theme parkers, to the We Like Theme Parks podcast on the Chip & Co. Podcast Network, your go-to spot for news, opinions, and other nerdy fun happenings in and around the Disney and Universal theme parks. Hi-ho, Diz nerds, it's me, Bondo. Wait, I'm going to do my Batman voice. I'm Bondo. It's Halloween. I don't know, Batman? I don't know. Today, I'm joined by my friends and co-hosts. We got Disney culinary connoisseur, the Deluxe Hotel Hopper, and basically an HHN Human Shield. I'm going to say it again because we have a new t-shirt on our shop called Human Shield Squad. It's Tinker J. Tinker J, back from HHN. Did you make it? You survived it? How were the front lines?
I took all the blows. I took hard blows in the front. And I will say, Miriam led twice. We'll get into that eventually. But, you know,
Good on
so
Miriam.
she took the reins twice. I've made her do it once. It's okay. It's fun to watch people be scared when nobody will scare you because you're just like, meh. Don't get me wrong.
You're so badass, Tinker J. You're just like, whatever. I'm not scared. Meh.
I'll be the human shield any day.
Oh, please come with me. I will make a load in my pants. Faux show. I will be scared. And don't touch me. Don't nobody touch me because I don't like being touched. Hey, we have more friends here today. Speaking of friends, I don't know if she's a human shield, but I can tell you that she's the most magical lawyer in all of Orlando. And she's about the theme park Fs, baby. And that's fun, that's family, that's food, and that's fashion. And it's Haley Huff, a.k.a. the Enchanted Esquire, is back. Haley, welcome back to We Like Theme Parks. She back, y'all. How you doing, Haley?
I'm here. I'm doing good. I'm glad I'm here. I'm living that theme park life.
You've done the HHN?
I have not. I've never done it.
Why are you scared? Are you a scaredy bear? You're a scaredy bear.
No, I'm not, but my husband is. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, it's okay. I think that's the case with literally most of our husbands.
Yes.
Not scary, but like just not nearly as gung ho about it.
I don't know. Do you guys hear something?
No, Brett's
I think
scared.
I hear a
He'll
bus.
Tell you.
Aw.
He's like, I would be worthless and you would just be, you would be by yourself. So I've got other friends that are like, come with us. And I don't know. I just haven't found the right time yet, but I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Maybe this year. I don't know.
To you.
We'll see.
You gotta go with our crew, man. We got a crew of ladies that go
I know.
down.
I know.
And
Well, now that I know that, now we're going to steal you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've got
you've
got a human shield, so you're golden. You're all right.
That's all I need, and I'm good to go.
Huzzah.
It's just the gore. Gore for me is what I'm not like huge into gore, but I love like thrills. I love scary.
Yeah.
It's just like blood and stuff is not like I'm not super into that, but you know.
Friends, speaking of blood and gore, Magic for Less Travel Company. If you're thinking of making a magical trip to maybe HHN for all that blood and gore. Hey, who are you going to call when you think of blood and gore? Jim Klein, baby, over at Magic for Less Travel Company. They're going to take all of the evil out of planning your trip. And believe me, if you are with Magic for Less Travel, you're going to be saving that evil money. So pop onto We Like Theme Parks, check out our Magic for Less icon, hit it. You can get a free quote today because they're going to do all the heavy lifting that you don't want to do, and they cost you nothing. So friends, check out Jim over at Magic for Less Travel. Go to HHN Blood Gore. Back to HHN, I wanted to mention, I think I mentioned it before, we've got a very cool new t-shirt in our t-shirt shop. It's Tinker J inspired. It's the Human Shield Squad t-shirt. So if we're talking about teas, you know what time it is, y'all.
T Public presents. It's your shout out.
That's right. It's TeePublic time. It's our Insta shout out. We're going to say hi to some of our Insta friends. And it's brought to you by TeePublic, where you can get all your super cool theme park t-shirts, including our new Human Shield Squad tee and other stuff. We like theme parks t-shirt or t-shirts of anything. You want Indiana Jones? Boom. You want Tron? Boom. You want Enchanted Esquire? Boom. They got it. pop onto our website, click on the merchandise or TeePublic icon, boom, check out our stuff today. And we want to say hello to our new friend. This is at Miss Motivational Pinup. And it's our friend Stephanie Myers, and she's a Disney pinup, and she has her own YouTube channel, and she's like a Disney motivational speaker and like a travel enthusiast. She's just got a great vibe going on, kind of very poetic, sprouting daily philosophies, that are very Waltish, about life and stuff.
And I imagine some pinup fashion. Yes, yes.
And a little bit of that too.
Obviously.
Yeah, a little bit of that. She does a little bit of everything, product reviews, unboxing, some bounding. Her name's Stephanie, and she's lovely and positive. So do check her out. And we're saying hello to you, Steph. Thanks for being a friend. Traveled down the road and back again. I hope you like podcasts, because we got one that's called We Like Theme Parks. And if you're at HHN and you need a human shield, Tinker J's got your back, so come on back. And so nice that we could say thank you for being a friend. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Bond.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
You've all been treated. You've all been treated.
Yes.
I didn't even write that one down. It just happened. It was happening.
Serenaded. I didn't know we were in for such a treat tonight.
Haley, if you want me to sing, I'll sing for you, girl. You got it.
You
Don't
give him anything.
Friends, we got a big show today. We're going to be talking about some goofy stuff like price hikes. Yay. What else is new? The prices have gone up. We're going to break it all down for you. And then to help even the odds, we're going to talk about how you can save money in the parks. And I'm sure some of these are things you're going to know, but there's going to be some tips you don't know. So you're going to want to stick around and later, because it's still Halloween. And Tinker J's like, I want to talk about scary things. So
yeah. We're going to take a nice, wholesome Disney animated film and turn it into a horror film. A little American Psycho a la Mickey. Okay.
That's coming up, friends, right here on We Like Theme Parks. So don't miss it as we horrify one of your favorite Enchanted Disney classics. Get ready. So why don't we get into it, friends? It's time for some news.
Talking about news.
Price hikes. That's all the news we're doing today. Price hikes. The prices went up on both coasts. I mean, as they do. And I guess really, I'm going to break these down, but it's really about, is there a limit? Have we reached it? Are they going up a little bit? Are they going up too much? I get inflation, but when does corporate greed become corporate greed? I don't know. But let's get to the price. You guys might tell me like, hey, that's not bad. This isn't just a price hike with the park tickets. There's price hikes all over the parks, from merch to food, snacks, parking, memory make, everything. Everything's gone up. Let's start with the East Coast. Prices for the passes, for your annual passes. And they've roughly gone up anywhere from $30 to $50. So this affects some of our friends here directly. Haley, you're a local. I'm sure you're rocking a Florida only pass. This affects you. Tinker J, you're coming from out of state. This affects you and your pass. I live in Canada. There's no Canada pass. What can I do? I just pay for the expensive stuff when I show up. It irks me. But $30 to $50 a pass. So right now, Pixie Dust Pass, this is a Florida residence pass, up $30, went from $3.99 to $4.39. The Disney Pirate Pass, also for Florida residents, $7.99 from $7.49. The Sorcerer Pass has gone from $9.69 to $9.99, just $30. And the Disney Incredipass Pass, which is kind of the most popular, the one we all know for people out of state who aren't Floridians, it's gone from $13.99 to $14.49, a $50 increase. Haley, which pass do you have?
So we have the Incredipass. We actually bought when we were out of state before we moved in.
Whoops.
So we do have the largest pass, but we kept it because we didn't want any blackout dates. So we were kind of glad we went ahead and bought in there. But yeah, it's a huge price increase. So for our family of 5 now, it's about $7,000 for all 5 of us to keep our passes. So luckily, because we are in state, we do get to pay monthly. So that is an advantage that we do have as Florida residents there. But still, we were talking the other day and we were like, my husband and I, and we were like, do we get $7,000 worth of entertainment a year out of these passes? And we kind of came to the agreement like, yeah, I think we do. We go quite often.
Yeah.
But that's because we live 10 minutes away. And
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know if we get so much out of it if we weren't so close. So definitely it's hard hitting for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I wonder for someone like yourself, because obviously, you know, you're Disney personality. You're in the parks every day. You're taking photos. You're doing videos. You're doing your content, and it's great content, by the way. You got to check out the Enchanted Esquire on Instagram. She's amazing.
Oh.
So for you and your husband, but maybe your kids could get away with the value pass, the Florida residence pass, because what a deal! Even still at $800 in comparison to the $1,450. I mean,
we probably will just stick with our passes just because we're freaks like that. But I have talked to so many of my friends that have said, you know, we're going to have to downgrade. We're going to have to go down at least a level or two, or even switch to just Universal. Like I've had some friends saying they're just going to go, they might drop it all together and go over to Universal. Like that's how steep these increases are.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I just had this discussion with my husband. I was like very happy to be an AP holder, like an out-of-state AP holder. But they've increased the price more consistently and higher price increases in these past few years and taken away things, right? So there's all of that. But then this thing about, I just got my Universal AP and boy, howdy, is that a really good AP? They have a really nice AP system and I'm allowed to do a payment plan as an out-of-state AP holder.
oh,
Right.
snap.
Yeah. And for my family, it would be $4,500 and that's for 3 people and we're out of state. Yes, we do get that amount of enjoyment, but at what cost over and above the cost of that pass? Less and less AP hotel times are popping up now. Right now, I mean, I stand corrected because like right now there is, I think, or coming up soon, there's a 35% one, but those are less frequent.
Yeah.
So like I look at the AP hotel discounts too, because I am coming from out of state.
Sure.
For sure.
And at Universal, other than Halloween Horror Nights and Christmas, and maybe New Year's, I don't think, but other than that, you really don't get many hotel blockouts.
Wow.
Right.
And if you get on board early enough, I think they might have them for those dates. I haven't been one long enough to find that out. But it's a mixture of things because you're like, well, I get there and then I buy merch, right? And then I buy food. And at Disney, you're getting the 10% at sit downs, which unless you spend a lot, you're not getting a lot, right? You're not getting this huge discount. And if you are Universal, you can stay at a Universal hotel if you want and then go to the parks if you want. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's easy to say now that I have right now because I have an AP.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to think about. Like once you've had it and then thinking about not doing it, you're like, yeah, if I go there, I can't just go in and out as much as it. Like that's the thing to me is the leisure of just being able to be like, I want to pop in here and eat. I want to pop in here and ride this ride and then go ride this ride over here.
I love your way of thinking though. It's like, well, if this is too expensive or I might have been priced out, it's not, I'm not going to get it. I'm going to get a Universal. I'm just going to go over there.
Yeah.
Again, we're bang for my buck. And that probably terrifies Disney a little bit, but still I feel like, look, there's a lot of Haleys out there who will just go, yeah, you know what? I don't want you to tell me when I can go. I want to go when I want to go. And if it costs me an extra $50 this year, but $50 times 5, then so be it. You know, that's what it's going to be. And so far, this news came out, and I don't think anyone's batted an eye. I haven't heard a lot of major, like, this is insanity. It feels we're used to this now. This is what happens every year.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, though, right? It's like, it's kind of hard buying into this knowing that next year there's not even a slight chance it'll be the same price, which I feel like used to not always be the case. Again, I've been an annual pass holder since 2019. So COVID plays a big role in all of that. I think we felt like we got a lot of value that first year because it was extended, right? Yeah. It was like 18 months or something crazy like that you got.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I think the thing with this $1,449 is by Disney standards, like you do when you're in the parks, you look at something like that and you go, well, that's $1,500. Like, it's like, well, you just start overestimating. And that's really the number I see is like, I look at that and I see $1,500. I don't see $1,449.
So there's room for them to keep moving up for another couple of years to get up to that magic number that you're already presuming it is. So next year it'll be $1,479, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's $1,500." Yeah.
Or it'll just be $1,500. Oh my gosh!
I think we are approaching the number. I mean, the fact that the rumblings within my small community here, like the moms that my kids go to preschool with, they're saying, you know, I think we might go just do SeaWorld and Universal this year. I mean, I think especially 100% on the East Coast, Disney does not care about APs. They just don't, because they're gonna get the money no matter what. Because
I was about to say they finally did that thing that they keep telling us we need to worry about the one-time visitor. We need to worry about the first-time visitor. We need to worry about the everyday traveler. And you're going to get your wish, and we'll see what that does for them. Is that better? Is that worse? I don't know. We might see.
Right. Truly, if you want repeat customers, you've got to up your AP benefits and stop taking them away. Just like I don't know.
Why have the AP if you're just? I feel like, especially the Incredipass, the only one that's available why offer it to out of state? Just say APs are only for Florida people. I think when I was a kid, that was the way it was. I don't think somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that didn't become a thing till later on, that you could even have an annual pass if you weren't Florida resident.
I don't remember it for sure.
Let's also consider that it's not just the APs that are going up here. Let me inform you guys about a few other things in the park that have gone up in price. Hey, you guys like to park your car? Remember, it was like $25. Yeah, that was pretty.
Also
steep.
Included with your Incredipass.
$30 for Bondo. Boom. That went up $5. Hey, you guys.
Okay, wait.
No photo pass either anymore. Like still, this is what, year 2 or 3? No photo pass.
I do have to say though, one thing, when I hear my friends say they're going over to Universal, one thing is, even though the passes themselves are better priced and you do get more benefit, things over at Universal are still pretty dang expensive, and the quality is not Disney quality. So I will say parking, this is what jumped out to me. We got our Universal APs back in March of this year, so we're pretty new to it as well. And we were shocked when we pulled up to that gate and it was like $60 for preferred parking, which Disney is $50. And it was $30 for standing parking, and Disney was $25. So I do just want to say, even though they are hiking some of the prices, they're kind of just staying within their market to an extent. Maybe not with the passes.
At Universal, if you have the top pass, you get included prime parking, which we didn't know when we pulled up with ours. And I was like, oh, we get to park in this nice area.
Would you wager that most of the people who are coming to the parks are tourists? I would say most of them are not driving. And the parking affects your residents, your Florida residents, if they don't have the big dog pass, right?
I think a lot of people road trip there. I think a lot of people.
I don't mean to diminish the people that do road trip, but I would say most of the people that come there are flying there and are probably staying on property or close to. So I feel like that the parking deal kind of affects the locals and not the people who are flying it, like the tourists, the real tourists.
For sure.
I shouldn't even say real
sorry
tourists.
That I interrupted. I just thought it was interesting that Universal parking was already what Disney is now charging. So
they've kind of they kind of pioneered some of the pricing things, like charging parking in hotels was something that Universal did first. Disney followed suit, but now pulled away. Thank you, Disney. Appreciate that. But I feel like the park passes, the tickets themselves for the one day for Universal is pretty expensive, like really expensive.
Oh yeah, I think comparatively, Universal's one day pass is way more. That's why their APs make so much sense.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah, like
they're incentivized. They incentivize you to get them because they're like, look at all these perks you get.
Listen,
too.
I just booked a trip to go to Universal for 2 whole days, 2 days at Universal, and I'm already thinking like, I think I'm going to turn mine into a pass.
Right.
I come back in a year.
Save you money.
I might as well. Like it makes sense, and the money is worth it. But anyway, let me get into some of the other things that shot up in the parks. The Memory Maker is up from $169 to $185. This is the advanced. If it's the on the day Memory Maker, it's gone up from $199 to $210. $10. Or if it's the one day, the daily, it's gone from $69 to $75. And food, just listen, food has done its thing. Like it's official now. A bottle of pop is $4.99. Like they've hit it. They've hit the $5 mark. I remember when $5 was a meal. You know what I mean? Now it's a drink. So we've done it. You've done it, Disney. We've made it to a $5 drink. Yeah, applauso. You did it. You did
it. Which, if you have an annual pass and you go into a store and buy it, you will get your 20% discount on merch in that store on that drink. So do that.
So it's a $4 drink for you. All right, you're bragging. I see.
Yeah,
I see what's
there you
happening. There was also, of course, increases on the West Coast. Too bad Miriam's not here to talk about it because that's her thing, because their increases were substantially larger, anywhere from $50 to $150. The Imagine Pass going up from just by $50, $449 to $499. Enchant Pass $699 to $849. What a $150 swing. Same with the Believe Pass going from $1,100 to $1,250, and the Inspire Pass going from $1,600 to $1,650. And also just same day ticket prices have increased anywhere from 4 to 25%. Big increases in Disneyland, maybe even bigger. But again, we all know the APs drive things on the West Coast. That's their audience. So that's where they're finding their money.
I feel like their price increases are always substantially higher than ours.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's also price of living, I suppose.
Just to kind of rope everyone in together, we've talked about you guys personally, but do you think we're really starting to box people out of these parks? Like there are going to be people who just say, I can't afford this anymore. Like,
I don't think it's being hidden anymore. I think they're just openly and bold-facedly doing that. Yeah. I feel like just shy of announcing, hey, we're trying to actively price people out. They're just pricing people out.
Yeah.
Like even people who are like steadfast, always going to, like I was like, oh, I'm always going to renew. Fine. Cause it's only going to, what's it matter? Right. And they used to do they even do the thing where you get last year's price, like whatever they used to do with the renewal? Do they do that anymore? No. They've taken away every incentive to like even keep it. You have it now. Keep it.
Well,
right.
You know what they know you're going to do it. So I guess I get it. Supply and demand. Oh, anyway.
Is it? Oh God.
But we've had this conversation, and is it going to stop the three of us from going to these parks?
No.
I don't think it's going to stop us from going, but I would definitely reconsider my annual pass holding. I went for years without one.
Right. It may affect the frequency of visits.
I will say too, with the food, I feel like they did the Mickey bar increased, right? The food across the parks by
everywhere,
30 cents, 50 cents, whatever. But then at the restaurants, they said that the entree prices at places like Sci-Fi Dine-In and Mama Melrose went up by anywhere from like 25 cents, fine, whatever, to $3 on some entrees. Yeah. And like, to me, that's a huge difference because like we go to Mama Melrose sometimes because it's a very nice, affordable, lovely sit-down meal. And I'm like, once you increase, how many things were increased by $3? Once you do that enough times, it's like, is it still? I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, friends, things are getting expensive in the parks. Let us know if this affects you, and if you just trudge on in. Who cares? Just keep on feeding the meter, if you will. Or does this actually cause pause for you to maybe recalibrate and think about how you can effectively spend your Disney dollar? Let us know. We want to hear about it. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick break, because when we come back, we're going to do you a favor. In fact, Haley is going to lead the charge because I know she loves saving money.
I know that's a good idea.
We got plenty of money-saving tips coming right back at you right after this, right here on the We Like Theme Parks podcast on the Chip & Co. Podcast Network. Stick around.
We Like Theme Parks podcast.
Segment time.
Prices go up. Maybe we're not getting more money at our jobs. How do we save that almighty dollar? Friends, the We Like Theme Park crew is here for you, because guess what? Bondo is the cheapest Disney fan you know. I'm so cheap. And we're here with two of our friends, maybe a little bit frugal, maybe a little not so frugal. So this is perfect. And we've got some ideas for you to save some money. And I'm also really excited to pitch some ideas to just see, could they do without these things? Because every theme park fan is different. They experience it differently. They strategize differently. Some people are going there. This is the one time I'm going. And maybe I'm coming every 5 years. So these do not apply. Money is no object. You're not going to hum and haw over a cheeseburger. You're going to just get the cheeseburger, right? Oh, is it 5 days or 6 days? Yeah, I'm there for 6 days. I want tickets every day. I don't need no park day. Everyone experiences it differently, but people who go a lot maybe are being a little bit mindful about where they put their money and how they spend it. So we're going to throw some ideas out here. And I thought I would go to my friends here first, because I'm so cheap, so many ideas on how you can save money. But let me start with Tinker J. Tinker J, Give me some of your money-saving tips for your park stays.
If we're talking about the people who aren't just going once every 5 years, right? We're talking about saving money when you're going regularly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely contrary to what we just talked about and tell you to get an annual pass because there's discounts. So, yeah, it depends. How many times are you going, right? With the price increase, look at it and see. If you're going to the parks more than 10 days in a year, an annual pass makes sense. Maybe with the price increase, it's 12 days in a year. So if you plan on taking 2-week-long vacations, just get the pass and do that because it will make a lot more sense in the end.
Absolutely.
So
That's how we did it. That's what happened to us.
Yeah.
And
So
here
that's
we are.
exactly right. Yeah, exactly. We decided we wanted to go twice a year. We said, will that be 10 days? Yes, it will. Okay, then this makes total sense. So that's my first recommendation is spend more money to save some money.
Girl math, right? Another thing we're doing.
But hey, it's all about knowing your spend. You know you're going to go those 10 days. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Plus you get the discounts, the merch, the food. It's smart.
And if you like to sit down eat, which again was a thing with my family, we like to have sit down meals.
Right.
Yeah, you get your discount on that. You don't get it on counter service. If you're a counter service family, maybe think about it. You know,
I'm a counter service family. Hello.
Yeah.
For me, meals are special. Like, we're going to have a big meal, like a fancy meal. It's a special thing. We'll get into that. Haley, I'm going to throw on your way. You got one? I'm asking early because, while the list is still long here. What do you got?
I am fancy. I like to splurge, but we live here. We go every day. And I can't tell you how many times I have to tell my kids, just because we're here doesn't mean we're buying something.
Yes.
So I know the ways to save the money. Okay. So I actually have a lot, but I'm going to start with, this is a parent thing. So if you have kids, this is a major one. There are tons of free activities to do in the park.
Yes.
So we're thinking souvenirs. You're thinking things you want to bring home, things that the kids can keep for memories, for keepsakes. Epcot, you have KidCot. It's great for the kids. They love to do it. You go and you get these little cards in every country. You get a little baggie. It's a fun little keepsake. You've got Pirate Adventures at Magic Kingdom. It's a fun little activity. You get something to take home there too. I think it's like a map. There's Wilderness Explorers at Animal Kingdom. There's ways to go and do some things and get some things and not have to pay like $50 for a plushie.
Yeah.
Always check for free activities, even in the parks. There's tons at the resorts too, if you're staying at the resorts, but definitely in the parks, there's lots of things to do. And then let's go. We've got ice water. That's never spend money on a bottle of water because all of the counter service restaurants or just windows have ice water. So just bring your water bottle, fill it up there.
Or go to the raceway, one of the two, or racetrack or raceway gas stations on property and buy yourself a $8 pack of bottles of water.
There you go. And keep them in your room.
In your room. Yeah.
Right.
You know what, friends? I'm going to change how we do this segment right now. You guys are talking about things, and these things may or may not be on my list. So here's how we're going to play this from now on. I want to hear all your tips, and we'll see if they're on Bondo's list or not. Okay. So I think if it's not on my list, you get a point because that's a creative one. You out cheap the cheap guy. So let's recap here. What was your first tip? Tinker J, it was get an annual pass?
Yes.
That's correct. It's not on my list, so you get a point. That's a point for Tinker J. Okay, yes. That's one for Tinker J. Okay, and then Haley, you jumped in and you said, yo, everybody, you know what you got to do? You got to do free stuff. Also on Bondo's list, no point for you, but you're correct.
Oh, dang.
And then, can I add to that point? Free stuff can mean a lot of things in the parks, definitely at the resorts. There are like kids clubs and things where you can do activities. When you are there at the hotels, have a pool day. You don't have to go to the parks every day, friends, and spend money on that park day. Go to the pool, do the activities in your hotel, go to other hotels and do the activities at the other hotels. Just because you're staying at Pop doesn't mean you can't go to Animal Kingdom Lodge and stare at the giraffes. You can totally do that. Okay.
Oh, go make some ice cream in a Ziploc bag at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's a lot of fun.
That's super fun. And you can go to all these hotels, walk around, enjoy it. I'm sure we've all done it when we were first doing Disney. It was like, I want to just see these hotels. I've never been to the Grand Floridian. And you go for the walk and you check out the hotels and some of the amenities. Do it, free stuff. And then the next point Haley had was drink water. Also on Bondo's list. No extra point, but a little bit of love.
Dang it.
Good job. Drinking water. I love it. Hey, pop is now $5. You're crazy. Drink the water, you ding dongs.
Does that mean the Galaxy's Edge ones are going to be, what are they? They're $6 or $6.50, right? What are they going to be, like $8 now?
Yeah, well, at least
For like the little weird
too?
ball ones.
Yeah, they're
probably,
Yeah, because they're more than the regular ones.
Yeah, I have the grenade right here, but it's also something you can take home, and it's like on my ledge right now. So I paid,
It is, yeah.
yeah, I paid the $6 or whatever it was. Okay, let's keep the party going. Tinker J, give me another one of yours. Let's see if it's on Bondo's cheap list.
Here's one of my recommendations.
Let's go.
Portion sizes at most of the sit-down restaurants at Disney do not lack. They're very large. If you are not starving, or even if you are, you're probably going to overeat anyway. Split, either get like 2 appetizers and like have like a little tapas situation going on, or split an entree. But this is also kind of feeds into my lounge recommendation. Like if you're not starving, just eat smaller. Don't go crazy. But I would say split things, split food.
Sharing food. Yes. Is it on Bondo's list? No, it isn't. A point for Tinker J. Wow, she's up 2-0. Haley, going back to you, Haley. What's another saving tip-roo?
Okay, if you have this one on your list, I'm going to be shocked. So this is an old trick that I learned from some like mom group ages ago.
Love it. Let's go.
You can buy Disney gift cards at Target or cheaper if you have a red card, which you just apply, and it's just a debit card, so it's not like credit, it doesn't affect your credit. And you save 5%. So you're really saving money when you buy the gift card. So you can buy like $500 of gift cards, save the 5%, and you're getting them for cheaper. And then use the gift cards in the park, kind of saves you, makes you have a budget there. So you're like, I'm only going to spend my food with these gift cards, and you got it loaded. There you go. You got it on your list? Yours on your list?
Let me check the list here. Is the gift card sneaky sneak on the list? Yeah, it's on the. You're correct, but it is on the list. Yeah, that's an easy. Everyone knows that one, Haley. You think you're some sneaky sneak? That's the easiest one of all. Everyone knows a gift card trickaroo.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
but I love how excited you were about it. Let's keep that energy. That was.
To be fair, I didn't know. I knew about budgeting with them, but I didn't know you could buy them for cheaper than
5%. Yeah, 5%. Yeah. Okay, back over to Tinker J. What do you got, Tinker J?
Well, obviously, use Disney transportation. That's, I guess, an easy one. For someone who drives now, because we road trip more, but prior we had rented a car for a few trips, and that was a big ticket. So yeah.
This is not on my list, but I don't think it's point worthy.
He says no. He says no.
If you brought a car, you're going to drive. And if you didn't bring your car, you're not going to drive. I mean, it depends on if you flew or you drove. That's what you get. All right. Back to you, Haley.
Man.
Okay. I feel like this one's on your list because we started this game thing as soon as I said this. And you were like, let's play this game. So pretty sure I'm not getting a point here. But we don't do this, obviously, because we live 10 minutes away. But before we lived here, anytime we came, we would order groceries or just hit up a grocery store. When we got here, get all of your breakfast items, get a couple of lunch items, and eat your breakfast in your room before you go. This also saves you time during your day. So if you are trying to hit the rides, you got Genie Plus. If you're trying to go hard, eat breakfast in the room, saves you time, saves you money. There's just all kinds of advantages to it. So get some groceries and eat in your room.
This is kind of
your own stuff.
This is great, Haley. And this is kind of 2 tricks here that you're saying. You're saying, first of all, you can just buy food so you're not eating park food. Like if you are home one of those days and you're having a pool day, you can go back to your room, make a meal, or have something simple. So yes, grocery order on Bondo's list. The second point you made was breakfast. Eat your breakfast at home. Why spend money on breakfast in the park? In fact, I'll double down on you and say breakfast is a snack. If you don't want to sit in your room and eat breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning, you want to get to that rope drop, granola bars, baby, Yogos, simple, travelable breakfasts. Breakfast on the move is the Bondo way. Also on my list. So no points for Haley, but Haley, you're doing great. I like all your ideas. Going back to you, Tinker J, what do you got? If you don't have any more, you can just say, I'm done.
I feel like we need to change this game, though. I feel like we need to change the game. It needs to be a point if it's on your list. Right?
Nah.
Bondo's like,
You gotta
Bondo's like, I thought of it already.
You gotta outdo the cheapy cheap. I'm the Scrooge McDuck of this. You gotta outsmart the Scrooge McDuck. Okay, what else you got, Tinker J?
All right. So mine will be slightly contrary to what y'all just said, which is if you want to go eat a character meal, most of them have a breakfast or a dinner, and the breakfast is always cheaper, like always. If your character meal has a breakfast, go eat the breakfast option instead of the dinner option.
I give you a big incorrect because breakfast is always dinner is the most expensive. Breakfast is the next expensive. Lunch is the cheap one. Do lunch. Take a look. What's it called? Be Our Guest. Breakfast is $30 for pancakes. Ridiculous. And then you can get some kind of sandwich for like $22, $19 lunch. Lunch is cheaper.
Yeah, but that's not a character. He only walks around once. I'm talking about character meals.
You're just talking specifically character meals?
Yeah, most of the character meals that are pre-fee that have one price are cheaper for breakfast than for dinner. And you'll see the same characters.
It's hard for me to agree as a cheap guy, but I guess it counts. That's the right answer right there. That's not on Bondo's list. Another point for Tinker J. Okay, coming back to you, Haley. What you got?
Okay. Oh, let's see. Do I have anything else? That may be it for me.
That's it.
Let me think.
You can't out-stump Scrooge McDuck, baby.
I've got one.
Yes.
I've got one. This may be on your list, though.
I love it.
So, souvenirs, going back to souvenirs. I said free activities earlier, but one thing you can do, I'm a big Amazon person. You can get tons of like cheap little Disney knickknacks on Amazon, at Walmart, at Target, wherever. You can buy these, put these in a little goodie bag or whatever, and surprise your kids with them on your trip, or like save them and give them to them throughout the trip, whatever. And that way you're not having to buy a souvenir every single day or to feel guilty about not getting them anything.
Or t-shirts.
So,
yeah.
Right.
Disney
Same with t-shirts. Yeah. Buy before you go. That's it. That's my tip.
No, Haley, I love this tip. The sneaky merch is always the best merch. Not the ones in the park that are costing you a fortune, the one that you brought with you that mysteriously shows up during your trip. I'm just going to send it to my room at Disney, and I'll pick it up there and I'll wear it. Boom, bing, bang, boom. So don't buy merch or sneaky merch on Bondo's list. Sorry, Haley. You can't outstump this cheap
0 points.
You're doing great, though. Back to you, Tinker J. What you got? You're
Honestly,
out?
I think I'm out.
She has tapped out, friends. Related. She is not as cheap as Bondo. How about you, Haley? What do you got left?
I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but one thing, and if you go to my Instagram, I can help you here, okay, is instead of splurging on lots of restaurants, snack in the parks for meals, a lot of times Disney snacks, which I am such a fan of, Disney snacks are legit. A lot of times they're big enough to be a meal. So like your cheeseburger spring rolls at Magic Kingdom, just even like a Mickey bar, you can share it. There's, especially at the Food and Wine Festival or at any of the festivals at Epcot, one little portion, you can share that between two people and get full. And these are like $6 a pop. So I'm going to say the tip is instead of going to a restaurant or a counter service, get a snack, share it. That way you can try lots of different things and save some money too.
Saving some money by eating snacks instead of meals. Not on the list. Way to go, Haley. You're in. Way to go. What a great tip.
Just 1 point. Just 1 point.
Hey,
That's all I needed.
They all count. They all count.
I can rest now.
Oh, are you done? Is that it? Are you tapped?
No, I'm not tapped.
Tinker J. Here comes Haley. What else you got, Haley?
This is one that I think this will help plug our friend here, Mr. Jim Klein, but use a travel agent because they will find you the best deals. They will find cheaper discounts, things like that. So that they will save you money if you use it, and they're free. They're free.
Guys,
use a travel agent.
Don't go onto Disney's website if there's no magic deal on the website. Here's the thing. If you go to Disney's website and there's just rack rates, don't buy it. If there's a deal, still don't buy it. Go to a travel agent. He'll charge you the same thing. He or she, pardon me, will change you the exact same thing for that price. And now you have somebody who's actually your concierge doing all the heavy lifting for you for the exact same price. It makes no sense to not book through a travel agent And it's on the list. Sorry, it's on the list already, but that's a good one. But it is a great tip. And listen, if the prices do change or there is a promotion, the travel agent will get it for you. So don't feel like you're missing out. You're never missing out. And the great thing about booking with these guys is they have the relationships with the people in the parks, with Disney. So they're able to make any changes, change your reservations. It is a great plus. Great tip, Haley. Haley, I still have like 10 more on my list. Can you even crack this? I don't know.
Ooh. Okay, here's a kind of seemingly contradictory one, but my husband and I have said this for years. Save money at Walt Disney World anyway by staying on site. Now, this sounds crazy, but Pop Century and Art of Animation and a few others run deals that are insane. And we've got friends all of the time saying, oh yeah, we just staying on site so expensive. We're staying over at the Doubletree or wherever. And we're like, well, how much are they paying? And they're like, oh, like $250, $299 a night. And we're like, what? Like you can get a pop room
You
for,
can get
for
Grand
150
Destino for that.
Right. So
Yeah.
just look at the prices, and I promise you there is a price for everyone on site, and it makes the experience so much better. So stay on site, save money. That's what I'm saying.
Checking Bondo's list over here. I just booked All-Star Sports. My kid doesn't care. They love the value resorts. Stay at the value resorts, friends. It's on Bondo's list. Yeah, it's going to be cheap. It's going to be cheap, guys. Come on. You can stay at a value. The only person who cares that there's giant soccer balls there and you don't like it so much is you. Your kids are loving it. So stay at a value resort, okay? Keep going back to you, Haley. You got anything else? Or has the river run dry?
I do.
For someone who said, I'm not the person.
I know.
Right?
Discounts.
I know the tricks. I know
You
the
are
tricks.
hemorrhaging discounts right now.
Do I use them? No. I know them.
You so fancy, Haley. Like, I wouldn't be caught dead doing this. Like I'm not telling. I would never stay at Pop, but you can.
Are you kidding me? I love Pop. No way.
You can come visit
like
me
that,
at All Star
but
Sports. We'll eat dinner in the cafetorium. It'll be awesome.
I love the cafetorium. Don't you hate on that place? It's great.
I'm gonna be there.
They have great drinks. They have great drinks at the All Stars pool bar.
They do, and the
so
desserts. The desserts are yummy too. Okay, what's your next one?
Okay, plan ahead. But before we took our first trip with the girls, I researched for months. Now, you have your travel agent and they can get you good deals, but you yourself have got to do some research too, because you've got to figure out, am I a sit-down person? Am I a snack person? Well, okay, you pick one of those two, but you've got to research what you're into and find the best prices within your realm. So maybe you are a sit-down restaurant person, but you don't want to spend $500 on your meal. There are options. So I'm going to say, even though you have your travel agent, to take some time and actually plan out your days and plan out what you want to do before you go. That will save you some money.
What do you think?
Because you can price it all out.
What do you think, Tinker J? Is that a thing? Plan your trip?
No, I think if you know where you're going, then that makes it better than, oh my God, we got to eat right now. Let's go right here. We got to eat whatever's right here.
Well, what do we got here? Richter Burger. I guess we're eating Richter Burger. Okay, well, that's not on my list. Haley, that's a deuce right there. It's 3-2. Haley, do you have any
I have
left
one
in
more.
the tank?
That's it.
All right,
one more
this is it. This is it. Could Haley tie Tinker J and share in the triumph of knowing these deals, or will she fall short? Let's find out.
I think I'm going to fall short. I think you probably have this on your list, but I'm going to say if you buy a regular park ticket, it's cheaper than a park hopper ticket. So I'm going to say buy regular tickets, skip the park hopper, and plan your day one day per park.
Let's check Bondo's
Save
list.
some money that way.
I'm going to check the Bondo list. It says right here, don't park hop. I'm so sorry. But we got a winner, and it's Tinker J. 3-2. Way to go, Tinker J. Thanks for letting.
I can only win when Miriam's not here.
Hey, thanks for letting me turn this into a ridiculous game. I like how that just happened organically. First, there was a song.
Do we get to hear
now a game.
what else is on your list?
Oh yes,
Yeah, we need to know the rest.
You want the Bondo speed round? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with macaroni and its fullness?
I don't know if Haley knows that story. I mean, that's an.
I don't, but I need to know it.
Oh man,
Bondo's price saving is make sure your macaroni cup is full, so you get all the macaroni you paid for.
I was at California Adventure at the wharf, and I got my kid a kid's meal of mac and cheese, and they gave me a cup. And there's a line about halfway at the cup, and they filled the mac and cheese up to the line. So it's like they filled up half a cup of mac and cheese.
No.
So they put it on my tray, and then I'm like, excuse me, can you fill up the cup with mac? You got a little cup here. It's a little cup. Could you fill up the cup? And the lady was like, no, we fill it to the line. And I'm like, but that's half a cup. I paid for the whole cup. Like when you give me a drink, do you put half a drink in it or do you give me a full drink? You give me a full drink. This is a little cup. Can I have?
like your arguments. Yeah.
And this lady was like, nope. I kind of blacked out. I was so upset. And I was like,
I can't tell you how many times I've done that.
I will never eat mac and cheese here again.
That's why Bondo has a 20-item price saving.
Yes. And one of them is don't eat mac and cheese at the wharf. All right, here's Bondo's. And can you guys tell me if you think they're applicable? And if so, I'll give myself a point just for funsies. Okay, here we go. Number 1, friends, always go during low season. If you have an opportunity to change when you go, because guess what? Flights are going to be cheaper. Hotels are going to be cheaper based on season. Even though really, is there a down season at Disney now? It's tough.
January, February, that's about it.
That's
but not
about
for
it.
the marathons.
And guess when's and can you just say right now, Tinker J, when is Bondo going?
January,
February. Hello. That's a point for Bondo. Also, early December is good. Late August, early September is good. There isn't a lot of them, but there are some. The hotels are cheaper. Yep. The flights are cheaper. Trust me. The next one, listen, if you're not getting some kind of combo through some travel specialist where it's park and discounted tickets, you're just buying tickets for whatever which reason, undercover tourists or third-party sites, don't just buy rack. These guys are legit. It's not a huge savings. It's a little something. You're going to save $50, $60. Hey, it's $60. You don't have to give Disney. You can give it. You're going to give it to Disney anyway, but they give it to them in a different way. So I'm going to say third-party tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I approve.
Approved. Okay, here's the next one. We talked about staying at a value resort, being on property the value, but there's also a value of staying off property. If you don't want to pay some of those prices and maybe you cannot get into a value resort. Sometimes the values are so popular, you can't get in. That does happen.
Or if you have points through a hotel chain.
Absolutely.
Some people have Hilton or whatever points and they basically stay for free.
And you'll find that if you're looking for something that's more of if you're going with a big family or a couple of families, I've done this before. I've rented houses and it was much cheaper than getting like some kind of suite. Every night I'm paying $500 for a suite, or I could pay $2,000 for a week. It's just cheaper. And I got a whole house with a pool. You know, it does change now. I got to drive there. Now there's parking and things to consider, but when you do the math, it still could be cheaper. Consider off property. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Works for me.
All right. I'm getting
There's
more points.
There's some cool ones too. There's like some really cool houses.
There is.
Oh yeah. Those wild ones out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Flights. Be flexible with your flights, friends. If you're like, no, I'm not leaving until 10 a.m. The 7 a.m. flight is cheaper. There's days that are just cheaper to fly, like a Tuesday or a Thursday.
It's a money saving thing.
Yeah, man. Listen, I could take the 10 o'clock flight and spend an extra $200, or I can go at 7 a.m. I'm going to go at 7 a.m.
There are people who won't change the time they fly out. There are people who like just won't do that. I didn't even know that.
If you are that person,
like,
you're throwing money in the garbage. Might as well just send me that money. I'll take it.
I feel like that's just a normal part of planning. Let's find the cheapest flight.
Oh, so I don't get the point? Okay. All right. No point for Bondo. Continuing on.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I feel like that's planning. Yeah.
All right. Okay, here's my next one. Hey, wow, that Genie Plus looks cool. Hey, wow, that Lightning Lane looks cool. If you go during low season, you're not going to need it. So don't pay for Genie Plus and Lightning Lane.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but yes, you will save money if you don't pay for Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes.
Merry Christmas, Bondo. Okay, there's the next one.
You should totally buy Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes.
Okay, only got a few left. Here we go. Here's the next one. You kind of touched on it already. Somebody mentioned sharing food. Great idea. I think it was Tinker J. How about this sneaks? Order kids' meals. The kids' meals are a good value. You get a little bit of everything. We don't need to stuff our face, especially if you have that fancy dinner that night, like you're going to somewhere, California Grill or a character dining experience, somewhere where you're going to be sitting for a few hours and really eating and spending the money. What's wrong with doing a counter service and getting a kid's meal and just getting a snackaroo? It's not a bad value. You get a little bit of everything. And hey, they're going to look at you weird when you order it, but they know what's up. They know that you're a crusader of cash. Like Bondo, ordering kids' meals. Who's with me?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there escargot on the kids' meal? They don't have that on the kids' meal?
You know what? Haley already said yes. So that's one for me. Okay. And there's the next one. Hey, we're talking.
That's a big local tip. Like a lot of my local friends, that's what they do. They just grab a kid's meal and they go.
And you know what? The portions aren't terrible. Like they are definitely kid size, but they're not.
If you're
terrible.
doing counter service, the options are the same. Sit down meals, though, quite limited. But yeah,
I'm just
counter
saying.
service, same thing.
I'm just saying,
smaller
save those calories, save that hunger for that big
Ooh.
fancy Tinker J meal
Double
you're gonna have
bonus.
later. And then here we go. Here's another one. We're talking about snacks. Snacks cost money, but there is a snack that's a little bit cheaper and a little bit magical. And you can buy a pretty cool piece of merchandise too. It's called popcorn. Get the bucket, do the refill, save your money. Your kids.
I'm
are just
so
gonna eat
mad at
popcorn.
myself for not saying that one. We use that all the time.
Yeah, you
Get
do.
you a popcorn
Yeah, for
bucket,
sure.
get that $2 refill.
Yep. And then you can bring that same
Best thing
bucket
ever.
back. They're not going to make you bring a new bucket. I got my buckets in Japan, baby. They come with me everywhere. Let's go, popcorn. Point for Bondo. And finally, and this is one that people might not agree with, but it works for me. And is it because I'm a charming fella? Possibly. But I think it can work for you because I think you're all charming and kind and wonderful. And that is this. Ask for free things. If you ask for free things, they sometimes happen. When do you ask for free things, you might ask? Great question. Let me answer. When you're at your hotel, ask for a nicer room. What's the worst thing they're going to say? It might be no, but it might be, yeah, okay. Or ask for a late checkout or ask for an upgrade. You can ask for anything and you will be surprised what'll happen. Sometimes I ask for extra stuff when I'm buying counter service meals. I think I talked my way into a salad once. I was like, hey, can I grab one of those salads? You just throw one on.
And if it's the end of the evening, you can ask for extra desserts, especially at Satuli Canteen.
Yes. You want a pod at the end of
yeah.
the day? You go at the end of the day, you're going to order one. They're going to give you 3. So, hey.
They give away desserts at the end of the day at Satuli Canteen. So
I feel like this is an East Coast thing. On the West Coast, they don't care. They won't give you anything. They'll be like, no, get out of here. This is California. Right? But in Florida, they've been known. So that's just my tip, friends. There's nothing wrong with asking. And I've gotten free tips, free stuff on the most random things. I bought one of those bubble things that break after one use that play under the sea. Yeah. A zillion bubbles. I had to buy 2 of them because I have 2 kids. You've heard me tell this story again. The same day they bought it, they ran out of bubble juice. I had to buy bubble juice. First of all, I talked to a cast member. They gave me their staff discount because I was buying 2. And then later I came back and asked, I ran out of juice. They gave me free juice. Guys, the world is your oyster when you ask kindly. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. Maybe I just smell like kindness in Canada. Who knows? But you can too, friends. Haley, Tinker J, that was a ton of value and a value to you if you were listening. And maybe like Haley, you jotted some of these ideas down. And now you have an opportunity to save money when you're in the parks and you have the 3 of us to thank. Merry Christmas. You're very welcome.
You're so welcome.
Well, congratulations to you guys. Those are some great tips. But friends, we have a little bit more show because it's still Halloween and we still want to get freaky. So we're going to be turning some of your favorite Disney classics into horror movies right after this break. Stick around right here on the We Like Theme Parks podcast on the Chip and Co. Podcast Network.
We like theme parks podcast.
Hey friends, it's Bondo from the We Like Theme Parks podcast. Listen, are you going to book a trip to Disney, Universal, or somewhere else that's hot and awesome pretty soon? Well, you want to contact our new travel partner, Jim Klein, over at the Magic for Less Travel. Listen, I don't want to plan a trip. You don't want to plan a trip. So why don't we let a professional plan a trip? Because Jim is going to be able to help you with all the planning process on any vacation, along with cool, helpful tips and tricks along the way. Listen, do you really want to go online and check every day to see if the price of your vacation went down? No! Let this guy do it. And by the way, no more waiting on hold forever to change that dining reservation. Jim's gonna do it. We're talking dining rezos, airport transfers, stroller rentals. This guy does it all. And do you know how much Jim costs me for all this amazing stuff? Nothing. No monies. Mind blown. So if you're ready to make some magic, go on over to WeLikeThemeParks.com, click on the Magic for Less Travel icon, and get a quote with Jim today. The Magic for Less Travel. Plan the best vacation ever.
Armchair Imagineering.
All right, a quickie but a goodie. It's still Halloween. We're having tons of Halloween fun. We've been doing all kinds of Halloween, you name it. It's coming up with Disney mazes, original mazes for HHN. Haunted Mansion trivia last week. You missed that, Tinker J. That was fun.
I listened. I always love when I get to listen and I'm not on it because I get to listen like a fan again. And when you have Marty here and Gabriella without me, I miss them both. And it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Check out last week's show, friends. It was hilarious. Marty Adams, hilarious. Gabriella, hilarious. It was a great episode. They're all great, though. You know, who we kidding? Anyway, I'll press on. So this week, Tinker J was like, sent me a text. Was like, I got this great idea. Why don't we take like regular Disney movies and turn them into horror movies? And I'm like, you're obviously a horror fan who just went to HHN and is feeling the vibes. So let's do it. So today, for your listening pleasure, we're going to be taking some of your favorite Enchanted films and making them evil. So Tinker J, this is your show. Why don't you go first? What you got?
I've got a few. So I went into it I only picked one that I was going to actually like change the story a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I have a few that are just like, I want to see the horror version of them. But Peter Pan, I thought if it was Captain Hook is like the leader of a gang and he lost his hand in a bloody fight with this group of like kids, right?
Oh my.
And Peter's kind of the leader of this group of kids. But it's in the South. And so then they like run away from this gang and Captain Hook's chasing them and is going to like take revenge for his hand, right? And then they run into the swamp and the mermaids are like swamp sirens, like swamp witches.
Dang.
And there's killer gators, which would be like the crocodile, right? And so that's trying to get everybody. The gators just try to get everybody.
Yeah.
And then you'd have them reach like some little bit of like a safe haven, feeling a little bit safe. And then the equivalent of the pirates, the gang would show up and take them away to like a camp where there's a bunch of stolen, entrapped kids.
Oh my goodness.
And it would be freaky. And then I haven't decided whether it's got a bad ending or a good ending because it's a horror movie. And I want to be super dark, but I don't want this show to be super dark. So I'll leave it up for interpretation on the ending. But that was the one I wanted to alter some.
I thought this was going in like a Lord of the Flies way, like where the kids were going to start like eating each other and turning on each other.
Oh, those Lost Boys.
Well, so just wait, because that is my rendition of Pinocchio. So
that was mine. That's mine.
Oh no!
Oh, well, then I'm not going to say it. I'm going to save that for you because that's you probably got some. I have other ones. I want to hear your Pinocchio because mine's not changing it too much. Pinocchio's really freaky anyway.
Fired up, Haley.
Yeah, well, that's basically what I was going to say. So Pinocchio, like it's so scary. Like it doesn't even need to be changed that much.
It's already so dark. I mean,
I'm going to go ahead and say, has anyone seen, I'm sure you'll have Puppet Master, right? Puppet Master, anybody?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
I have not.
Bondo?
No.
No? Oh, okay. It's really
I was actually going to say, I was like, I would have said Toy Story, but Puppet Master exists.
Yes. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be a good one. Somehow I watched that when I was like 8 or 9, Puppet Master. I don't know.
It
like
was
my
big
parents
when we
didn't
were
know.
little.
Yeah. Anyway, it scarred me a little bit. So Geppetto is the puppet master and Pinocchio is like this demented puppet. That's what I was thinking. And then, but then if we go this route, I don't know if it's as scary that he's like a child that's smoking and drinking and getting into child trafficking. I mean, just these things on their own are scary enough.
Haley, can I jump in with your pitch?
Yeah, please.
Okay, the beginning of Pinocchio, what happens? Somebody comes to Geppetto's shop. I want to buy a clock. Geppetto goes, none of the clocks are for sale, right? Because he's Italian, right? I'm Italian, so I can talk like that.
Hey, it was just as good an accent as Tom Hanks.
It was like Tom Hanks. I'm giving you a Tom Hanks. Yeah, none for you. You know, get the clock, okay? And the guy was very upset. As he's walking out of the shop, he looks over his shoulder, sees that Geppetto's not looking, takes a clock, puts it under his undercoat, and leaves. Geppetto looks, and it's the clock that he whittled for his real son that died, and that's why he whittled.
Tragic.
This was the one that made him think about his son, and he wept all night. And then the blue fairy came and turned Pinocchio into an avenger of Geppetto's sadness. And now he stalks anybody that stole clocks from Geppetto.
Can we get like a gnarly
kind of
transformation? like werewolf scene of like a puppet into a boy where there's,
I'm in.
like not werewolf in London-esque.
Yeah. Anyone who's
This could
wronged
go very
Geppetto.
like Megan-esque too, like the new Chucky doll, like.
Yeah, so I feel like it starts there, like that's the first sin, but then we find other things that have gone wrong in town, like Honest John tricking boys and stuff, and then out comes Pinocchio just, slaughtering bad guys. It's just like he's a bad dude. Nobody crosses with Geppetto.
More child transformation scenes of them turning. The donkey scenes are already bad enough, but like if you really went full horror with those
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's so dark. All right, Dick and Jay. What is your other idea?
This is always a good test of some people, how many Disney movies they've seen. But there is one that is plainly obvious going to be a fantastic horror film, and that is Black Cauldron. Black Cauldron is already a horror film. Just really amp it up, really go all the way with that, add in a little bit of that blood and gore. The whole thing, if you've watched it, the whole thing is the cover of a heavy metal magazine. It's pretty fantastic.
You've got this cute little Gurgi thing that chews on apples and says silly things.
Yeah, see, I want Gurgi to be more like almost like a Schmeagle in this one. Like, I want him to be like really malformed and like kind of gnarly and kind of creepy. And you don't know if you should trust him or not.
But I feel like people forget about this amazing villain. That is probably the most terrifying villain.
He's the best part of the whole movie for sure. Like that's the problem is the two main characters. I don't think people could really give two hoots about. The Horned King is one of the best villains, and it's really some of the best dark imagery that Disney's ever animated. So I think it really would lend itself.
Guess what happened? Nobody saw it.
Now that
it was
y'all
too
said
scary.
What's that?
Nobody saw it because it was so scary. They were like, my kids were like coming out of there screaming, and they're like, it didn't do good business.
And it was right before they had the final break with Little Mermaid, and then everything made up for it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then my other one is I kind of want like if the Yellow Submarine were a horror movie of but I want that of Alice in Wonderland, like the bad trip version of Alice in Wonderland. And then I want the Red Queen to be like her murderous mother.
Oh my god!
And she's like always like searching for her, but she's like kind of messed up, and it's like a bad trip situation.
Oh, that's pretty.
I feel like that could easily go dark. Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
The only other one I thought of too was Beauty and the Beast. Like, what if we had Belle? It's already kind of lending itself to like Stockholm syndrome. Like she's trapped. That's scary enough, but. What if she does still fall in love, but then becomes a beast too, and you've got kind of like a werewolf horror thing going on, and then they kill all the villagers? That was my other idea.
Oh, it's so kind dangerous in France. I love it.
I was trying so hard to think of a Beauty and the Beast one. I love that.
Murderous beast on the loose, werewolves together.
And does she tame him with love?
Yeah.
Or at least you think he has?
Yeah,
and then
Haley's movies are going to have a happy ending.
No. But this one,
maybe not. Maybe they just like kill all the villagers. They're like, screw all of these people. They were all terrible to us,
right? And then she's like, "Come, you and I will go up to the castle and live together forever and love each other." And he goes, "Yes, my Belle." And then they walk away arm in arm. But then, like the Michael Jackson video, the beast turns around at the end. The red eyes. Oh, he's still a bad dude. I got cheesy ideas for days. All right, here's my last idea for a movie, and it has a name. It's called Wreck-It Ralph. It's just the regular name. And Wreck-It Ralph has cursed hands. Think of the King Midas experience, and everything he touches breaks, like literally. So when he was a kid, he accidentally like touched his father, and his father broke in half and died. And he killed one of his younger brother by accident, playing. The little brother wanted to play, and he was like, let's play. And he mangled his little brother. So his mother can't forgive him, and he lives this loveless life without a family because his mother ostracized him, and he is trying not to touch anything. He laughed one time and slapped his knee, and he broke his own knee. Every food thing he eats is a deconstructed version of it. This guy just lives in a world of sadness. And then finally one day he meets the Sugar Rush racers, all those poor little orphaned candy racers. And Wreck-It Ralph says, that's it. someone gave you all up. You shouldn't be alone. You're all just children. And he goes on a murderous rampage of all their parents. What do you think?
Ooh.
I was like, where is this going? That was great.
And here's the new line. Your life. I'm going to wreck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the idea that he turns
it should be
with murder.
It should be Wreck-It Ralph, Homewrecker.
Homewrecker. Oh, that's even better. The idea that his curse becomes his power. Ooh. But he tries to do it for good. And, you know,
I don't know. This is not sounding horror to me. This is just sounding like tragic, like a Shakespearean tragedy.
It starts tragic, but then it gets pretty bloody and gory, you know?
Okay. Gore. Okay.
Yeah. All right. This is a family show, so maybe not too. Maybe some broken bones. How about that? Okay. All right. We'll just do that. Any more crazy, weird ideas, or is that it? Have we done a show?
That's it.
I think we're tapped. We're tired of making all this gold for Disney if they ever want to open up a horror department.
Why aren't they paying us, honestly?
Things they will never, ever do. I mean, they won't even
I think the closest they ever got was they did that remake of the Nightmare Before Christmas album where they actually did. I made a joke on here maybe 2 weeks ago about like not having like Korn or Marilyn Manson involved, but they literally had both of them on that album covering Nightmare Before Christmas songs.
Amazing.
I think that's the closest we'll ever get to horror at Disney.
I didn't know Disney like was behind that. I just thought those artists did it on their own. So
if you want to see,
like an actual album.
If you want to see the closest thing to horror that they've done in the parks, check out Hong Kong and their Halloween attractions. I think it was called the Nightmare Experiment. There was a few of them. Take a look. And they actually had like HHN style attractions. And they had one where it was like Dr. Wu is this twisted scientist and you go into his like nightmare machine and you go first, you're in the bayou and you meet Dr. Facilier and he does some voodoo magic and you meet his shadow. And then his shadow makes Dr. Facilier disappear, like kills Facilier. And then there's a scene, you go to Sid's basement and all these huge versions of these like twisted toys are like doing things. And then I think there's another scene where you're on a boat and a skeleton version of Captain Jack Sparrow is like chasing you down this hall, all these skeletons in these cells. Yeah, this is a real thing. It's on YouTube. Check it out. I think the final scene, which is the craziest one, is it's the Mad Hatter. And he's in like an asylum room with like his tea party. And he pulls someone out from the audience and pulls them into this room and then has them sit down. And there's all these like mannequins sitting around the table with no heads. And then at the end, the Mad Hatter pulls out shears and goes to cut off the guy's head. And then these like blinds, kabuki style, flop down. And you hear this crazy, like this sirens, and they feed you out the door. They look awesome. Do check YouTube, Nightmare Experiment. Hong Kong.
Nightmare Experiment.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show. I want to say like 2 years ago, but man, it is so rad. And I wish they did something like that, maybe at Hollywood Studios, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I'm torn on this issue because there's such a niche for it. Like, obviously, me and Tinker J are listening to you say that, so we're so intrigued. We're like, wow, like that sounds awesome. But then also, as a parent, like, I love that Disney is like the safe place. Yeah. You know, that I can take my kids and like know that they're not going to have nightmares and like be scared of things. Sure. So yeah, maybe like putting it in a special park.
Yeah.
And doing like an age restriction on it or something. Sure. I don't know, just to like keep it separate. Cause like I've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, but I love that that's Universal's thing. And like Disney is kind of like your safe bet. I don't know. I'm so torn on that. I think that's so interesting because it's so cool. It would be so cool, but should Disney go that route? I don't know.
Well, I just think in a park like Hollywood Studios, the intention with that park was to make it a little edgier. We're talking like before Iger though. This is many moons ago, but you've got like a Tower of Terror in there. You've already got like a spooky inspired attraction that doesn't have a bunch of yucks in it like the Haunted Mansion does. And who's to say this couldn't be a nighttime event, you know? And hey, if you got the kids and you want to do a Halloween nighttime event, you know where to go. Not so scary. But hey, maybe if you're an adult and it's after 5 or 6 p.m. and now they wander over here for some spooky scares, you know, I think it would be another marketable event and a money driver, but
there's tons of people that would love it.
Oh, I mean, my goodness,
there's definitely a crowd.
I think us East Coasters would just simply settle for some of these cool villain character setups they have.
Anything, right?
Yeah, those
anything, even if it's not horror.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those character
buddy.
setups out west are pretty rad. The Judge Doom one and the
Oh gosh, yeah.
I would pay just to go to the Judge Doom one, honestly.
Yeah.
And the Ernesto de la Cruz little concert thing is hilarious. It's so cool. He looks amazing up there. All right, friends. Well, hey, we've given you a little bit more Halloween as we do all through October. Your Merry Christmas. And next week, friends, stick around because Tinker J is back. Miriam is going to be back. And we're going to have some more friends who just went to HHN. And we are finally going to get rankings and ratings of all those incredible Halloween Horror Nights houses in Orlando. Tinker J quickly summarized the experience in a word.
The most exhausting fun I've ever had in my life. I did so much HHN and I want to go back right now. Can I live in the Vamp 69 for like at least the rest of October, please?
In a word,
such a cool place.
In a word, boogity boo. So don't miss that next week. All right, friends. Well, this is a great spot to say see you later. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you had a good time, hey, I know you haven't done it yet. Go do it now. Rate, review, subscribe, all those things. It's not under We Like Theme Parks. It's under Chip & Co. Podcast Network. That's where you got to leave that review. Go ahead and do it now. You can always find us goofing around on the Instagram at We Like Theme Parks. And the music for We Like Theme Parks is composed and provided by Mike Treblecock. Tinker J, where can we find that dude?
Treblecockmusic.com.
That's the spot. And do not forget that We Like Theme Parks is brought to you by the good people at Magic for Less Travel, and that good person is Jim Klein. Pop onto our website today. If you're thinking about going to a magical destination, you can get a free quote. You can get the best deal, and Jim is going to do all the work. So do it today, friends. I just did it. Just booked my Universal trip through Jim. Super pumped to go. I want to give a big thank you to Haley, who jumped in on a last minute. Like I bugged her earlier in the day today for coming in and just being amazing as always. Haley, tell everybody where we can find you and what you got going on.
Okay, so you can find me on pretty much any social platform at the Enchanted Esquire. We are on Instagram. I say we, it's me and my family, but I mean, I guess it's mainly me.
Yeah.
But Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. We just started doing full-length YouTubes, which has been a fun adventure.
Awesome.
And basically, we are just here to have fun and teach everyone some pro tips that we learn along the way. So would love to see you there.
Friends, at the Enchanted Esquire, her content is awesome. She does a little bit of everything.
Thank you.
And truly, it's a family affair and it's quite lovely. So don't miss out. And hey, I just want to give a shout out to Miriam and Mark. We miss you guys. We hope you guys are good. And Tinker J, I want to give a shout out to your beautiful new red hair. I love it. It looks good.
It's so beautiful.
Go check it out on our Instagram, guys.
Yes, right. In Vamp 69, is that what it's
Vamp
called?
69, yeah.
Okay, I hope that's the year. All right, friends. Well, hey, for Jeanette and Haley, I'm Bondo. That's all, folks. We'll see you real soon. Why? Because we like you and we love theme parks. You said love? You know what? We do love theme parks and we love you, Haley.
Parks too, though.
You've been on this show how many times? Come on.
I know. It's late.
All
What
right.
am I doing here?
No, you're awesome. All right, we'll see you next week, friends.
Bye.
We Like Theme Parks Podcast.